All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to Ferrigno Freedom channel. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Jeff, good to see you, my friend. Hey, it's day number 9 for me back on clean lion diet, and it has been very nice getting back to the original, and it's been challenging in some ways too. So I thought I would just get right into it and cover the quick bit on that. Hey, looks like Carnivore Bar folks are here too. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Let's take a look at this past week here. Let's see. When was the last time I was on? It's been a week. I think I did like a 3 or 4 day update. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. I said on day 3, woke up this morning feeling better than what's become normal recently. Checked the mojo, keto mojo at 7 a.m. Blood glucose was 49. Ketones were 0.2. Reheated the last 7 to 8 ounces of steak from yesterday and ate it to bring up blood glucose, but I was not hungry. Had to force it down. 1 hour after, blood glucose was 52. Don't have time to check again before work. Then I prepped a 27-ounce ribeye, New York strip in the chef maker for work in sous vide mode. Took my food to work, but was not hungry all day. Came home at 7:30. That's one of the things I've noticed is that I'm just not hungry. I've been trying to eat this 2 pounds like I usually do, or like I thought was my average for a while, and I realized I must not be eating as much as I was before because eating 2 pounds has been a difficult task. Today, I've just barely gotten 2 pounds in, and I got a little footage of what I did today too. I can show you some of that too. But let's see. Decided not to eat as much as I could, even though it was late. I decided to eat as much as I could, even though it was late. I wasn't really hungry, but I didn't have to force it down. It was quite good. A couple of factors that could be causing lower blood glucose. Oh yeah, I was dehydrated on Sunday, so that could have been a big part of it. I haven't calculated out all my ounces per day or anything like that yet, but I've just been noticing that I'm getting better sleep at night. I feel like I'm more alert during the day. I don't need coffee. That has been amazing. Let's see. Day 4, went to bed a little earlier than last night, got up a little later than normal, but only woke up once in the middle of the night. I know I've told you this already on the previous stream. Let's see. What was day 5? Woke up fresher than I have in a long time when my alarm went off. I had just started to wake up that moment before it rang for the first time in a while. I got up without hitting the snooze button. I hate the snooze button. I haven't needed the snooze button lately. That's been a nice thing too. Let's see, day 6. This is where I think we picked up. Clean lion diet on day 6. Slept in a little this morning. Checked blood glucose and ketones a little after 8:30. 60 glucose, not in ketosis. Had a 20-ounce ribeye at noon. See video from 628. Why did I make that note? Oh, it's because I posted some of that one. Cooked a 1 1/3 pound burger and ate about 90% of it. Gave the rest to Sam. He was very grateful. 10:30 p.m. checked blood glucose was 78. Ketones still low or not in ketosis. Let's see. Day 7, slept in until 7:30. I've had a few days off in a row, so I've kind of enjoyed sleeping in a little bit. Had a 16-ounce ribeye at 11 a.m. My wife made a big breakfast for the boys with sausage and eggs. It was tempting to have some of the eggs and maybe even a piece of sausage, but this is the kind of thing I'm trying to avoid. See, I'm trying to stick with my lion diet so I can really give my hormones a chance to readjust to being on this clean version of lion diet that gets all this junk out of your system. I could continue eating, but since I have a Healing Humanity dinner tonight, I am trying not to eat too much now. This was Monday night. Got to the theater a couple of hours early, so took Katie to Outback Steakhouse because she was hungry. We split a chopped sirloin meal. I ate the meat. She ate everything else. It was a 10-ounce chopped sirloin. Had another 10 to 12 ounces of brisket at the movie. And then because one of the guys who came to the theater, Josh Rogowski, I don't know if I said your last name right. I always have a hard time with it, but thank you, Josh. He gave me a bag of these thin sliced dehydrated New York strip steak things, like you do it in the dehydrator. He did it over only 8 hours, and it came out great. I was impressed. They were like carnivore snacks. They had that chewy consistency to them, but they were New York strip chips. And he had a lot of salt on him too. I really liked it with the extra salt, so that was good. Got home after midnight, so I didn't check my blood glucose that day. And then day 8, up at 8 a.m., blood glucose was 95. So my blood glucose has been normalizing since I've been eating a little bit more, I've noticed. And it may have just been because I was dehydrated on Sunday that it was low to begin with, because that does have an effect on that. 12-ounce burger and 2 New York strip chips at noon. 3:30 p.m., ate 4 more New York strip chips. 5 o'clock, had 24 ounces of burger. So that was a burger day, and that was yesterday. So far today, I woke up at 8:30 for Bible study, checked my glucose around 9 a.m. Glucose was 69, still not in ketosis. Ate 12 ounces of New York strip steak about 1:30, and then ate another 18 ounces around 5 o'clock just before this stream. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Feeling like I'm ready to lay down. I think that's what lions like to do after they eat. I hear all of our viewers like to point out that we have to act just like lions or this isn't lion diet. I don't think that's the case. But real quick, I do want to show you something. Let's see here. Let me see if I can get logged in. I thought I was already logged in. How do I get logged in? Come on. Seems like technology doesn't want to work these days. Yes, put the password in. I don't even know what my fat password is. My password is. Let's see if that's the right one. So how are you guys doing today? I see Kevin's here. Yes, thank you. I like the hat too. I love this hat. And there's so much security these days, you can't even get into your own Facebook page. I'm going to try to show you guys some pictures from the other night at the movie. Have you guys had a chance to see the movie yet? The Carnivore movie, Healing Humanity? Yes, trust this device. For goodness sake, yeah, it's my computer. How many times do I got to tell these computers it's okay, you can let me use my own Facebook page? I really don't like social media, but I do it anyway. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So let's bring this up. I'll show you what we had the other night. So that's some stuff that Carrie posted. I was going to see if there was one that I posted. It's here somewhere. Oh, well. Anyway, you can see some of these pictures here is just as good. There's Dr. Kiltz there. There's Carrie. Who else we got? There's a lot of folks here. There's me with a couple of the ladies that came to see the movie with us. I'm sorry I can't remember everybody's name that I met the other night. Here we are talking in front of the theater after the show, talking to folks about questions they might have had. It was really interesting seeing yourself on a movie theater screen and then being in a group of strangers watching a movie with you in it. Yes, we are going to talk about Guga's steak abuse here. I don't know what to think about it right now. I just wanted to take a look at this real quick and show you this from the other night. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it because I did want to get into this. I just wanted to give you a quick update on the way the refresh of my lion diet has been going. It's been going good. Things are moving in the right direction. I feel good, and that's what's the most important. It has been a struggle. All right, let's see here. Let's start off with the one that we had in the thumbnail because it is the one I wanted to watch first. I have not seen any of these. I do not know why you would want to soak a steak in Dr. Pepper at all, let alone for 6 months. I would think it would dissolve the whole steak, but let's see.
Alton.
Yes.
My good friend Alton Brown.
How are you?
Hi, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Gogo.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
I do some crazy experiments with meat,
Yeah,
and I
you
want to
do.
dedicate one to you. What type of thing can you think of that I have not dry-aged steaks with, and it will be a representation of Alton Brown?
I want you to combine teriyaki and Dr. Pepper.
Oh, why?
Because it balances. Both have enough
I
salt.
don't even want teriyaki.
Especially the teriyaki. But the sweetness from the Dr. Pepper, as well as the carbonic fizz, I think is going to bring something to the party.
Huh? How long should I go for? I usually let things soak for quite some time because we want deep penetration. But please.
6 months then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 6 months.
Half a year, dry-aged, Alton Brown.
It's wet-aged.
Half a year, wet-aged, Alton Brown
Heifer year?
experiment coming up now.
Now, I'm sure you are familiar with Dr. Pepper, but just in case you're not, there's a huge difference between the canned stuff and this, the original Dr. Pepper. You see, Dr. Pepper was created in
They're all
1895
bad.
by a pharmacist
Don't
in
drink 'em.
Texas, and it is one of the oldest soft drinks in the United States. Now, obviously, Alton Brown loves this stuff, but like I said before, there's a huge difference between the canned stuff and the original. This one uses canned sugar, so I'm hoping that it's going to be better. So I went ahead and grabbed my steak. It's 2.5 inches ribeye, nice and thick and prime grade. Now for the teriyaki sauce. Now I can go ahead and use this one right here, but that would not do its justice. I have to make teriyaki from scratch, and for that I got a Japanese master chef.
This is Chef Hiro, a true Japanese chef. And let's be honest, much more qualified than me to make this sauce. Hiro-san, Alton Brown told me to soak a steak in Dr. Pepper. What do you think it's gonna happen?
You know, be honest, I never had a drink of Dr. Pepper. So
But in all fairness,
There's the smart guy. You know, I've worked in restaurants and they like to do weird things with food, so this doesn't surprise me one bit. I don't know if I can take watching this. Some of the folks that you guys on YouTube sent me these videos to check out, so I'm looking at it. Let's see what it's about.
first he told me to coat the steak in teriyaki sauce, then Dr. Pepper, and that's why I'm here. So I need you to teach me how to make teriyaki sauce.
sure. Okay, first.
What do you guys think
burn
about all
out
this?
Alcohol.
Oh, burn off the alcohol. Okay, sounds good.
The sake and the mirin. Let's go.
Oh, just like that.
Just like that.
Now, if we don't burn off the alcohol, Hiro, it's gonna be bitter. Is that the reason?
Yeah. Then after soy sauce. After that, sugar.
Sugar.
Okay. And now, very important, you have to watch it. It's a stir.
So now all he's doing is reducing the sauce so that he can get a nice consistency.
Yes. Now, teriyaki sauce is finished.
Wow, that looks beautiful. Nice gloss, not too thick. Very nice.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yes, I'm gonna need it. Thank you, Chef Hiro.
Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
はい、どういたしまして。
As soon as I got back,
This
I went
isn't
ahead and
considered
started
one of his
reducing
weird
the sauce.
ones?
You just gotta heat it up a little, because in the end, check it out. This will now work perfectly. So I went ahead and went for it, adding a generous amount of teriyaki sauce first. And I'll be honest with you, the sauce that Chef Hiro make is smelling fantastic. Once the steak was fully covered, I transferred it to a container and I went immediately with the Dr. Pepper.
man.
And I'm not quite sure what was happening, as I was getting some type of reaction. Don't ask me what those bubbles and things are, because I tell you one thing, friends, even though it looked kind of weird, it was smelling really good. So into my refrigerator it goes for 6 months. But there
6
was
months.
a problem.
Good morning, everybody, and something has happened, and I must send a video to my good friend Alton Brown.
And I have done it. I literally did it. And I want to show you what it's looking like because things are a little bit different than what I'm normally used to. You are an expert at this, and I need your opinion.
Clearly, I'm not an expert because an expert wouldn't have probably told you to do that. And quite frankly, I just thought it would be fun.
Here it is in better lighting, brother. Take a look at this. I mean, I don't know what those things are over it.
What's basically happened is it kind of like cured the outside. But all that white stuff,
That poor
beige
steak
stuff
is
floating
dying.
around, I don't know what that is unless it's actually, yeah.
Take a look at this. What do you think?
I think don't
But
eat it.
Alton, I can't. We need to cook this right now. And it has only been a week. So after removing it from the container, I pat it dry really good. And it was smelling great. As I held it in my hand, a few things stands out. Number one, tenderness. This thing is literally falling apart. Second, the fibers are completely opened. Third, it smells like chocolate. like Nutella. So now I'm extremely excited. Since this thing is completely falling apart on me, I went ahead and tied it up. Because I tell you one thing, I'm looking forward to this. However, this steak is not enough for all of us. So since we went with Dr. Pepper because Alton Brown loved it, while I was growing up, there was one drink that I loved more than most. And it was not soda. It was actually guarapo, also known as sugarcane juice. It is fresh, sweet, light, slightly grassy, but extremely refreshing. If you've never had guarapo, friends, give it a try. But there's another ingredient that I also love, and that would be butter and garlic. Oh yes. So here's what I came up with. I first started with some butter. I melt that down on a skillet.
Nothing wrong
and
with
threw in
butter
a
and
generous
garlic
amount of
for most
garlic.
people.
As soon as it was nicely golden brown, I took it out and chopped it up. Then I got some room temperature butter, whisked it real good, added the guarapo, whisked it a little bit more, and I went straight with the golden brown garlic. Then I went ahead and mixed it a little bit more, and this thing was
We're
ready
making
for the
steak or cake?
So I went ahead and started spreading the whole thing on the steak.
Looks
The
like
more, the
cake.
better. The key is that whenever you use butter, you gotta make sure you cover the entire steak. If not, it will oxidize and it will not be as good. So I made sure of that, because once I was done, into my dry ager it went. Now remember the Dr. Pepper one? Extremely tender, and it was only for a week. This one, on the other hand, I have to take it out now too to make a fair comparison. But I want you to take a look how well butter preserves steaks. Remember, the goal here was to go for 6 months. So I knew that this was gonna last, but the Dr. Pepper had something else in mind. After removing all of the guarapo butter, I was left with a beautiful steak that smelled wonderful, but not much has changed. So I'm curious to see how this one is gonna taste. And in order to have a true comparison, check
So
it
just
out.
cake
I got a
it in
fresh
butter?
one, the Dr. Pepper one, and the guarapo. I kept the seasoning real simple, with a generous amount of salt and black pepper, nothing else. Because once this was ready, I want to let them rest at room temperature for 30 minutes so that the salt can penetrate deeply into the steak. As that was going, it was perfect because it allowed me time to go ahead and make an awesome side dish. And this one is from Alton Brown. To make it, it's quite simple. Check it out. We first need a quick rub. First, adding some cumin, followed by smoked paprika, mustard powder, onion powder, chipotle pepper, and finish it off with some garlic powder. Now mix everything well, and this is your rub. Set this aside. Now
This is
before
why I
we can
never
begin
wanted
cooking
to
our
learn to
filling,
cook.
which is
This
going
is
to
too
be
many steps.
fantastic, you got another mix to make, which is into a bowl. Throw in some brown sugar, followed by some ketchup, mustard, tomato paste, malt vinegar, Worcestershire sauce, and liquid smoke. Now make sure to mix that real good, and this is what you should be left with. Now set this aside. Now into a pan, throw in some oil, followed by onions. Start to cook them for a little bit, and immediately go in with your ground beef. Now go ahead and cook them until they're fully cooked. I like to use this tool here that makes the job easier. This is a lifesaver. Now go ahead and season it with salt and pepper, and I want you to take a look at one thing. I'm using 80-20 ground beef. See how fatty it is? Here's a quick trick to remove some of the fat if you don't want that much. Just use a paper towel, but don't remove too much because we all know fat is flavor. Now go ahead and add your dry
One thing
mix.
I don't
Start
want to
and
take
combine
out.
everything together. You should start having a wonderful smell and color. Once that's fully mixed, throw in your wet mix. Now go ahead and mix that in. And there's one special ingredient I completely forgot, but that's okay. I made a quick well and threw in some garlic. I cooked that up for a little bit and let that fry it up. Then right towards the end, I added some green onions. Now the green onions is a Guga touch. It's not from Alton Brown, but I just love it. So this is our filling. Next, I went ahead and grabbed myself some of these, which I love to use. So I went ahead and
I haven't
opened
missed
one
those,
up,
I'll
added
tell you
one
that.
slice of American cheese, followed by the filling we just made, and a tiny bit of pickles. Now you want to go ahead and close your bowl. Just make sure to crimp it towards the end.
There was
and
a
make sure
time
you
I would
do
have said I
multiple.
would have.
Next, go ahead and add some egg wash. A tiny bit of sesame seeds goes right on top, and bake the whole thing in your smoker at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Because after about 20 minutes, this is what you're left with. Sloppy Joe buns. Please listen to me. Make this. It is wonderful. It's one of those things that you cannot eat just one. So yeah, it is a perfect side dish for today's experiment. But remember, Alton Brown asked me for this crazy Dr. Pepper experiment. I have a feeling it's gonna be good, because now that we have all of our steaks ready, the only thing left to do is to go ahead and cook them. First, I'll be putting a nice wonderful sear. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until they reach the internal temperature of 135. As now I say, it is enough talking and it is time to grill them, so let's do it.
Those are fun. Those grill guns. It's just like playing with a flamethrower.
All right, everybody, and here we got our beautiful feast. Gentlemen, what do you guys think, huh?
There's a lot of fat cap meat in here.
That's right. I don't go cheap, everybody. Shout out to my good brother, Alton Brown.
Oh.
So he asked me for this experiment, and you know, his reaction said it all because I did show him the steak. I'm curious. I want you guys to give me your true, honest opinion.
Has it really been in there 6 months?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's go because I am hungry. We're gonna start right here. Please dig in, guys. Let's go. Cheers.
Or was that just the 1 week thing that he did?
After 10 years of videos, steak does not get old for me. This man ate the whole thing. Felito, you went for the first bite and then you went for the second bite. What happened?
It's too good and I'm too hungry right now. You can taste that charcoal flavor.
AKA the kiss of the dragon, Felito.
Super juicy, so delicious. There's nothing, I can't complain.
Can you guys tell if there is anything wrong with this steak?
Nope, tastes like a good control steak to me.
Yeah, is there supposed to be something wrong?
No, not at all.
Then it's beautiful.
This is our baseline. Let's see if it's gonna go up or down from here. Let's go to the next one, please. Dig in, guys. Let's see.
This looks extremely juicy.
Yes, it is extremely juicy, and I'll be honest with you, it was so juicy before I cooked it that I had to like even try to remove some of the juiciness.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not kidding. This one of the juiciest steak ever, and not only that, the steak was also completely falling apart on me. But let me know about the taste. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's very different.
The flavor changes.
As you take more bites, right?
Right.
So the first initial bite, you have a flavor, and then the second bite is a different flavor. It's very weird.
It goes from sweet to salty, and now that salty's just kind of sitting in there and just kind of like chilling in my tongue. I like it. Yeah, it's pleasing. It's good. It's almost like got an Asian vibe to it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that.
Wow.
Normally you can tell as soon as you take a bite if it's like a sweet kind of experiment.
Yeah. It's definitely a
can't do
sweet
it.
experiment.
I like it though. I mean, I don't know what it is.
Great. If you're wondering if it's bad, no, it's not bad at all. Even though it looked horrendous, it's a good steak.
Only thing I could say is that the steak flavor is heavily removed.
Yes, we actually marinated this with teriyaki sauce and Dr. Pepper.
And Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
That's his favorite
Why
drink,
do
by the
it
way.
to a steak
Minnesota,
then?
yeah.
Surprisingly, that tastes very good, but we still got our last one. But before we do, I went ahead and made a nice side dish here.
Why make a steak that doesn't taste like a steak? I don't. It's. You gotta spend a lot of money on these things, man, and you're gonna get something that tastes like a science experiment. I want my steak.
Inspired by my good friend Alton Brown. You just gotta grab it and go for it, because there might be a surprise for you inside. You ready?
Some cheese like empanada.
Let's find out. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, you like?
It's like a bun stuffed with a burger.
Yeah, exactly what it is. Sloppy Joe, to be specific.
Guga, this is amazing. Especially the pickles at the end there. It's perfect acidity to end everything off. This really is like kind of like a bao bun shape, kind of almost. You've transformed Sloppy Joe's, Guga.
No, shout out to Alton Brown. It's not me.
Oh, that's right, Alton
I
Brown.
cannot take any credit on this at all. What an incredible, delicious bite. Easy to make. Do it at home. You guys ready for the last steak?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm super.
All right, let's go.
Which soda you use on this one, Guga?
Oh, good question. You're gonna be surprised.
Sugar
This one's extra
cane
juicy.
steak.
Ooh,
How does it smell?
like super smoky. Like too much.
Oh no, well, let's find out how it's gonna taste. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
It's amazing. That doesn't taste like that second one, and it definitely don't taste like a control.
No.
What the hell did you do to that?
Oh, good question. I'll get on that real shortly. What do you think, Valito?
No, this one's really good. An extra beefy steak.
It just amplified the control.
Exactly.
It's fair to say it's the control on crack.
Yeah.
So this one is actually with real cane sugar and garlic butter. That one is incredible. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. And Alton Brown, what did you think of this experiment now that you see us tasting it? Because by the looks, I know you were a little bit skeptical, but I want to know what you think now. Let us know in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe.
I still think I'll pass. Yeah, that doesn't look like it doesn't look like a lot of fun to me to ruin a steak like that. That's what it seems like to me. But you know, people have fun. They do what they want, whatever they want to do. If they want to ruin their steak, I guess they can do that. But I'm hoping not all of these are going to be a steak ruining situation. This one supposedly made old steak taste better. So let's check this one out here real quick.
Hey, do y'all enjoy some coffee with your steak? Well, probably not like this. So I'm going to show you how to take a less expensive cut of beef and turn it into a $100 steak with one little trick. Hey, y'all come with me. We're going to pick out a steak. Maybe we pick out a pie or some ice cream too to go with it.
What'd you make it today?
Oh, we're going to take a lesser cut of steak and make it as good as any other steak.
Nice, okay.
Fix it. These are some New York strips. Now, you don't see quite as much marbling in there, but we can make these just as tender as those if you'll just follow these methods. But I want you to look at this sirloin too. Now, this is really
What you're referring to, Lance, the coffee or the Dr. Pepper?
By just a little bigger cut, but less marbling throughout everywhere. So these strips, sure, they're going to be a little more tender than this sirloin, but it's less money. So let's give this one a shot and see what we can do for it.
I used to love sirloins, but now it's like...
Y'all seen me there at the store, and I decided I would go with the sirloin. Now, sure, when you look at this sirloin, there's not as much marbling in there. It costs less than that ribeye.
That's why.
But I want to put this tip and this trick to the most extreme thing it can do and see if it can tenderize this, make it as good as a $100 steak, because I think it can. Now, this sirloin is coming from the hind quarter of the beef, and it's having to work more. That's what makes it a tougher cut of meat, as you see here. But you can see these lines through here. This is not marbling here.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper,
this is little streaks of what I call gristle. There is a little bit of marbling in this, so that will help. But when you get ready to marinate these, and we're not talking about something you've ever heard before in your life, we're talking about marinating these steaks in coffee. Yep, you heard it, coffee. Brewed me up some coffee, extra stout, probably stouter than I would usually drink it, and then I chill it. You want to make sure that the coffee is good and cold before you ever start this. Now, what is the coffee going to do? There is acid in coffee that's going to help break down this meat to make it even more tender. Now, your steak is not going to taste like coffee. There is a minimum amount of time that you can do this in, and that is at 4 hours at the least. I like to let it go 8, even 12. You can do this on bigger cuts of meat overnight. So use a dark roast coffee. Coarse ground is probably the best. Don't be putting, French caramel vanilla latte something in there you picked up at Starbucks. Dark coffee is the best thing to put on it, and make sure it is chilled before you use it.
I hear you, Jeff.
Lou, does this meet your approval? You think this is going to be all right? Okay.
He says, no, give it to me.
So in one goes, I'm going to go ahead and pour some in there, and then we'll put the other in there with it. Pour the rest of that coffee in there. And this was about 4 cups of coffee to get these really submerged well. Now when you stand it up here, I don't want you to just seal it right off there. We're going to take it this way, turn it just a little to where we can sort of get it flat, let some of that air out, and then it's coffee time. Everybody needs to rest. All right, while them are soaking, let me give you some money-saving tips at the meat counter. First up is the chuck-eye steak, the poor man's ribeye. Such a good cut of meat it is.
Love a good
chuck-eye. It needs a little help to get tender. Top round. It's lean, but don't count it out. If you cook it right and slice it against the grain, it has got a lot of flavor and it will be tender. The Denver steak, it's got a lot of marbling. And if you cook it right, it is so tender, and it costs less than a New York strip. The skirt steak, it's all about flavor. If you cook it right, this thing nearly has as much flavor as a ribeye, but it's got to be cooked hot and sliced thin. The steak might be the star of the show, but it has a co-star playing a big important part, and that is the grill in which we're going to cook it on, and that is the Hasty Bake Legacy. Now, down there in the bottom, I have a little bit of hardwood lump.
You know, it's funny, all those steaks he just mentioned, the skirt and all those things, I know like that last one was good for fajita meat, but even in all these years of cooking only meat, I haven't gotten good at cooking those different things. I usually just heat them up or either put them in a grind or I use them as chips or something like that. I stick to what I know and keep it simple. I think that's been big for me because I didn't want to be a food expert or become a cooking expert. I just wanted to be able to eat to live, But it's good to expand your horizons and see what some of these things are. I wouldn't probably use coffee right now, especially since I'm on pure lion diet and I'm getting away from coffee and I've been doing fine without it. But I'm interested to see how it would affect the meat, if it might make it more tender, you know, with the acidity thing he was talking about. My wife might like something like that at the very least, you know. And it'll be something I try eventually if it's any good looking. I wouldn't do the Dr. Pepper,
bottom,
though.
I have a little bit of hardwood lump charcoal that was left over from the last cooking. I use the good folks at Smoky Woods. That's what I have, and the wood that will match with it. Now, if you're doing this from scratch, you would probably put that in a chimney, get it going white hot, then dump it in the grill, then add wood that you think you want the flavor of. To me, and I've cooked thousands of them, I'm going to use straight mesquite for cooking a good steak. Now, I'll add the wood in there, put the burner in there, we'll get it all to going. We're going to let them coals get good and white hot before we go any further.
So you said 4 to 12 hours, right?
I can't wait
4 is
to
the
bite
minimum.
into the perfect steak. And to make sure that happens every time, I'd like to thank Chef's Temp for sponsoring this video, because I'm using one of my favorite products of theirs, and that is the Final Touch X10. Best meat thermometer you've ever used. And why is this the best on the market? It's the world's fastest and super accurate meat thermometer. It has a 270-degree rotation and a big sharp display that I can read easily. Summer grilling season is coming up, and you don't want to ruin that backyard barbecue with a burnt or a tough piece of meat. Be sure you check out all their products, including the ProTemp 2 Plus, which is perfect for that smoked brisket. Now, you don't have to monitor the fire or the cooking time. It will do that for you. And for our fans, they are so good to y'all and us, they are, because they are offering you a 20% discount site-wide. Be sure you use that code. So if you want to kick summer grilling season off right, you better get you a Chef's Temp.
Sounds like a good one. I got one similar to that Typher makes, the Typher Sync, and it's or is it? I don't remember. It might be just the Typher thermometer. I've got the Sync also, which is the wireless one, but I like how it's really, really fast at giving you a temperature quickly, and those are invaluable. Lance says 18 days coffee free, had a headache and a pain in my wrist came back, stopped coffee and it was gone in 3 days. I've heard about that with inflammatory type situations or things like arthritis.
Ours, it has been time to get out of the coffee shop. These fellas are ready to go to work, but they got to rest one more time. Take them out of there, pat them really dry with a paper towel. Now, I want you to notice the color has changed. It has. That coffee has penetrated in there. It's going to make things more tender, but they even swelled up a little. I think when they absorbed that moisture, they started to grow just a tad. So I'm going to season with our original low sodium. Same great taste.
Low sodium?
Less the salt. And we're going to season from up high and make sure that everybody gets covered well. Turn them over, do the other side. I like to do this while the fire is getting ready. That way they're probably going to get set 30 to 45 minutes. Now, if you don't have some of our seasoning blend, get you some salt, pepper, garlic, coarse ground black pepper, salt, whatever
just
you got
salt
there. But just put it on there ahead of time so it can adhere to the meat, but also soak in for some of that good flavor. You can see we have the guard crew laying around here to keep everybody from getting the meat. I don't think they can get on the table, so it'll just sit right there till the fire gets ready. Now you've seen me, I got all the fire raked to this end. This is hot. This is cooler. Now preferably, if I'm on Old Bertha, I usually try to have 3 zones where it's hot, not quite so hot, and a little bit cooler, because you got to shuffle them steaks when you're cooking 200 of them. So let's get them out here. You've seen me season that grill and clean it with one of them onions. Now, I have been known to, in the past too, while you're grilling, just leave that onion on here. If you're going to shut that lid, I think it gives it some aromatic flavor. I do. So we're going to go down here on the cool side. Remember, So here we go with contestant number 1. Yes. There is contestant number 2. Don't let them touch in here because we leave everybody to get a smoke bath. Now, we're going to leave them on what I call the indirect heat side till they're around 105 to 110 degrees. Then we will finish them. Now, if you got you one of them meat probe thermometers, you're ahead of the game, but I would recommend you get one of these chef's temp because it's going to give you an accurate, fast reading. And I want that steak to be at the perfect doneness when I get ready to eat it. But I am going to use the old school method, and that is, see the palm right here? This little old part of the muscle of the thumb? Feel that. That is what I would call what a rare steak would feel like. Now, you put this finger together with this thumb, it tenses this muscle a little, and you have medium rare. One more, you'll feel the difference. It is even medium. Cut these fingers off if you're using them because he has died once. We ain't going to kill him again, so don't be using them too. This will stay down here about 10 minutes. We'll flip it in about 5 to warm that other side up. Then we'll be going to the hot zone of the fire. Well, I checked, it is time to go. I am going to add me just a little more wood because I want some flame on that end to finish these. Now we got to crank the fire up a little because I want them flames to be licking on. And as Frank Sinatra once sang, smoke gets in my eyes. Well, we got them down here on the hot end and done flipped them once. We're going to check them with the chef's temp just to see what we're looking like here. We're at 124, so we're awful close. I'm going to get a little more color on this side, then we're going to take them off, put them on the cutting board, and let them rest.
See how he was holding that chef's temp over the flame like that, though? I mean, that thing's made of plastic mostly, sitting there over the flame while he was looking at it. That's why I don't like to use those kind on the grill or anything outside, because I'd rather have a wireless one myself. But, I mean, it's not a bad tool. I'm not downing the tool that he's trying to sell. I mean, I'm sure it's great. It's just it has its uses, and I don't think it's so much for use on the grill myself. You can keep the potato.
See that color? On the money, honey. With this and chef's temp, you'll never go wrong. I am going to cut me a bite right here, and it does cut like butter. This is not a steak knife, not serrated. This is just a regular old knife. So look at this bite right here. First of all, I'm looking for the flavor and the tenderness.
Okay, honest reaction.
I am shocked. I have cooked hundreds of sirloins that were never this tender. The flavor that you get from the coffee, it's not like a cup of coffee, but you can sort of taste the aroma of coffee. And then you top that off with our seasoning. You got it on the hot fire. Woo. Coffee ain't just for drinking no more. You be sure you use this, and then you let me know, because summer grilling time is coming up. Marinate that steak in some coffee. You won't go wrong. But I'd like to thank the folks at Chef's Temp for sponsoring this video. And be sure and check out their website and use that code down there below to get 20% off everything on the little website there. But it is with great pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag flying behind us. We commend you all, and we pray for you daily. We do. Rest of you, get on up in here. We ain't even gonna drink no coffee no more. We're just gonna eat steak, and we'll give you a big old hug.
I knew I liked this guy.
Each and every one, and I'll see you down the coffee marinated steak trail. The Denver.
Now that's an American right there. I love it. Anyway, yeah, you know, I don't think I would be against giving that a try. Just to have once And if it worked good, maybe it would be good for my wife. She's not going to give up her coffee anyway, and I know a lot of you out there aren't either, so who knows? I don't know if the caffeine really holds up under the cooking process, but why not? If it holds up when it's hot water, I have no idea how caffeine works when it's inside a coffee, but I can't imagine the steak didn't get caffeinated there. And then this last one was one somebody sent me to check out that had to do with Dr. Berry. I ruined a steak for Dr. Berry on purpose. I don't know if, I'm going to assume this is somebody that knows Dr. Berry and likes him since he's cooking Nashville and Dr. Berry is in Tennessee. But I have no idea if this is somebody poking an eye, poking his thumb in his eye at Dr. Berry, or if it's somebody that's a decent dude or what. But let's give it a look. Well, that's kind of makes it look like he's not against Dr. Berry. Why would anybody want to ruin a steak for Dr. Berry, though? Let's see. All these music-heavy channels, I know this video is going to get non-monetized, but that's okay. I'm having a good time, and I hope you're having a good time too, guys. Let me know what you think of these things. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the coffee steak and the Dr. Pepper steak.
Guys, thank you for being here. Is everybody having a good day? Okay, well, I'm going to try to make it a lot better because
that's
I'm
for sure.
steak. I believe the illustrious Dr. Berry should be joining us at some point in time. Because Dr. Berry is going to be here, it sort of makes sense that we would do something like steak, but I thought, what can we possibly do with steak that is interesting? I thought it would be really cool to show you all of the things wrong that most people do with a steak, and then I'm going to show you how to fix all of those things. So when
this is going to be everything
burger
wrong.
Patties and chicken and all this other kind of stuff. When you cook that stuff at home, you can milk every last bit of flavor out of whatever cut of steak it is, or chicken or burger patty it is that you're about to make. This feels very odd to me to try to do these things wrong, but I'm going to do them wrong, and we're going to talk about why each one is wrong. First things first, this is the sacrificial steak. First of all, I trimmed a little bit too much fat off of it, so try to get the ones that have the fat on it, because even if you don't want to chew down the chunks of fat, cooking with that fat is pure flavor. It is wet.
That's really hard to do when you're buying from places like Sam's Club and Walmart, because some of those places cut those before they even get to the store, so there's nobody there to even actually cut them. I think Walmart does, but I know Sam's Club doesn't, and some of the other places don't either. And that's why when I've been buying mine from Sam's lately, the one I did earlier today was a whole New York strip roast, and I cut it into 10 roughly 2-pound pieces so that I'd have 10 one meal a days or 10 2 meals if I have to split them up, which lately I have been. I just can't get down 2 pounds at one time like I used to. It's really kind of shocking to me to realize that I don't have that appetite that I had before. I think I've been under eating, and it's partly due because you're watching the cost, and your wife's trying to eat carnivore with you, and she's on and she's off. You start to really kind of protect what you have as far as food goes. You want to make sure you got plenty of meat. I feel like anybody who's not eating the carnivore diet shouldn't be allowed to eat any of the meat, but at the same time, I want them to eat the meat so that they can get that in their system instead of all the other junk. At least it's outweighing it, and it's going to get them full of something good. Anyway.
And it is cold. Now, if I really wanted to go crazy with this doing it wrong thing, I would use a thin, like aluminum pan that has no bulk. As soon as you put food in that, it sucks the heat right out of it, and you start to boil whatever you're cooking. I couldn't bring myself to go quite that far. So I do have cast iron, but this is not preheated. This is a room temperature skillet. I'm gonna give it
There's a lot of people who aren't going to be using cast iron.
This is some homemade
that would
dry
make a mistake
beef
like this, I bet.
tallow. That's what I'm going to use to cook it. You could use bacon grease. You could use anything. Fat into a cold pan, breaking my heart a little bit here, like a medium to medium low temperature. The steak, I'm not patting it dry. I didn't even let it come to room temperature.
Yeah, that's a huge one. I didn't realize how big a deal it was to not pat the steak dry before you put it in, because it makes a huge difference in how crispy it comes out in the air fryer too. But obviously anything you're going to sear it on, because if it's got water on the surface, it's just going to be boiling off the water. It's not going to sear the surface like you want.
Redmond salt, and I'm not going to put enough, because steak is one of those things, if you do not season it properly, it just doesn't taste very good. A lot of people, I think, are afraid to season their steaks. It looks like a lot of salt, but as soon as you actually start to cook it and the steak absorbs a lot of the sodium, is really not that much. So my fat is just starting to get a little soft and liquidy. So we're going to put a wet steak in a not hot pan. I put it in that pan and there's no sizzle. And I can feel my heart kind of fluttering right now, because if I was cooking this the way that I would want to cook this, and I do that, and I don't hear a sizzle, it comes right back out of the pan. And
what I don't get is how I don't burn the steak on cast iron when I put it in and it's sizzling. It's like it doesn't cook fast enough. I flip it over regularly and I still get smoke everywhere.
Nope, I didn't preheat that pan. So we're gonna start slowly boiling a steak. While it is beginning to cook, I'm gonna tell you about these beautiful ribeyes. All of these ribeyes are cut from a primal rib loin right next to each other cuts. These, I did not trim the fat. Now, if you're one of those people that has a hard time eating big chunks of fat like that, I'll get the prime rib loin, put it in my dry age fridge, and I cut steaks off of it as I need, and they just get more and more dry aged. Take that front hunk of fat. I'll cut that into little cubes, little squares, little strips, whatever you like. If you put that into an air fryer, 375 to 390 for about 13 to 15 minutes, salt it really well, you get these brown little crispy bits. It is fantastic. It's a great way to up that.
You put too much, it gets smoky though quick.
Chop them up even smaller, and you can put them over top of the steak as a garnish when you serve it too. That's a really fun way. The next thing we're gonna do,
I don't mind just cooking the whole ribeye with that big fat piece on the end that he's talking about. And I'll just cut pieces off of that and eat it with the steak too. To me, it's not much different than eating like oysters or something like that. It just, I love the texture. I used to hate it. Like so many people I hear, they're like, I just can't eat fat like that. And I'm saying you can't because you've got it in your head that you can't. And I'm not trying to say that you got to change the way you think, but I promise you, you've been told something that makes you convinced that it's bad. And that's why that texture turns you off. Because I used to think that. I used to think that about salt too. But now I love salt. Now I love the taste of fat. I love the texture of fat. It's something that changes when you start eating this way. A lot of things change, like your taste buds change. You don't need as much sweetened things. I got to the point where LaCroix tasted too sweet to me, so I finally went straight to club soda, and I haven't looked back. I love it. I love the way a good clean, crisp club soda just by itself tastes. Add some Redmond Relight or just some salt. Oh, I'm getting thirsty just thinking about it.
As we're going to flip this way too many times, it's starting to sizzle. I'm going to start getting worried. Oh
no,
I
did
what if
do
it's
a lot of that.
And burning? That's really bad. Back to these, they're going to be
I
much
thought you
better.
should flip it a lot.
I salted these, not like make you want to spit it out salt, but I made sure they have plenty of salt on them. I sat them on a rack and I stuck that in the refrigerator uncovered yesterday. So these have sat uncovered in a refrigerator with salt on them, dry brining.
Of course, mine didn't have that little tiny bit of smoke coming off it like his does. Mine had lots of smoke coming off of it, so I felt like I had to flip it.
Uncovered yesterday. So these have sat uncovered in a refrigerator with salt on them, dry brining for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours is ideal. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to pull moisture out of the surface of the steak, and you're going to see moisture on the outside of the steak and gets damp looking. After it continues to sit there though, that water is a higher salinity than the moisture that is inside the steak, and because everything wants to come to a stasis, actually pulls that moisture and the sodium back into the meat, and it will distribute all the way through the meat. So you're seasoning not just the outside of the steak, but the inside of the steak. It also interacts with the proteins. So inside of raw meat, the two main proteins we're talking about are myosin and actin, and those proteins are all curled up around each other, and they're like these little knots of protein. When you introduce sodium, they start to relax. When you cook the steak, one, the proteins are more relaxed, so it's more tender, it's easier to chew. It also, because it is more tenderized, because those proteins have relaxed, it does not push as much moisture out of the steak, because when they cook under heat, they're more resistant to that heat, and they don't tense up and bond so tightly. So you have a steak that's seasoned all the way through. It is more tender to chew, and it holds on to more of the juices on the inside, so you get a juicier, tender, better tasting steak. It's a really simple thing to do. I want steaks tomorrow. I'm gonna season them today, put them in the refrigerator, get 360-degree airflow, and that's also gonna help us with the crust on the outside of the steak. This poor thing over here is not gonna get crusted in any way, shape, or form because we're scared. We're flipping it again. Whew, that is a wretched looking steak. For a long time when I was first learning to cook, I was really afraid that I was gonna burn my steak. And when you get a really dark, almost dark mahogany brown heading towards, I'm afraid it's gonna get burnt, you might start thinking it's not gonna taste good. That's gonna taste burnt. The Maillard reaction, which is what's happening, the glucose that's actually within the meat fibers, that all caramelizes, it's why it turns brown. It turns into that amazing flavor that we've all come to expect. It's like if you go to a steak restaurant, if it's a good one, and you get that brown outer portion of that steak and it comes to the table, it tastes fantastic. But they're using a lot of fat, they're using a lot of salt, and they're getting, hopefully, those nice char marks, whether it's a grilled steak that has the dark lines, whether it's the brown because it's been done on a skillet or a flat top, however it is they're doing it, that Maillard reaction is creating flavor. That's what we're trying to achieve. You automatically boost all of those flavonoids, which is what your palate goes, I like that, and it sends that dopamine signal to your brain of, hey, let's feel good about this, let's do this again, right? Starting to get a little color on that side. I'm gonna keep flipping a little faster. I'm getting a little worried.
Steak is definitely my drug of choice when it comes to getting my dopamine fix.
Start tasting good.
Can you talk about, though, because I think this is important, the salting on high?
Yeah.
Versus, like, demonstrate how you should actually salt your steak.
You know, so I'm up here. I'm not down here. So if you salt your food like this, you're gonna get thick lines and spots of seasoning, and then you're gonna get bites of your food that have little to no seasoning, too much seasoning. Ever watch a chef in any kind of a restaurant kitchen that they know what they're doing? That chef seasons up here. Well, what does it matter? You're gonna cook it all together and eat it anyway. But if you taste something that's been seasoned from up high, and something that's been seasoned right here unevenly, side by side, you'll get every bite of this tastes basically the same and it's really good. This one over here, you get some bites that are good, some that are over seasoned, some that are under seasoned, and the experience of eating everything on your plate is a collective experience. It's not just this bite, just this bite. Your experience of a meal and what makes you happy to sit there and have your proper human diet meal is the collective experience of eating everything that's on that plate. Okay, that one's getting close to being done. So the other thing that I've done with these steaks that I'm trying to make better is they are dry on the outside from the dry brining. Even if you don't dry brine your steaks, really, really important to take something like a paper towel and pat them as dry as you can get them. Because if that outer surface is wet, that moisture immediately turns into steam. What it's gonna do is create a steam barrier between the surface of the meat and the surface of the pan you're cooking on. And it's gonna boil that outer layer of your steak. You're gonna struggle to get the crust on the outside that's gonna give you the flavor you're looking for. Big difference. I used to make that mistake a lot. And so I'd just take it out of the package, I'd slap it into a skillet, try to compensate by cranking the heat really, really high, and I'm not getting a good crust, but then I am getting spots that are burning, where you get like the high spots of the fat, things like that. Getting that dry surface makes it much easier to get a more even crust across your steak, and that way every bite has that really nice Maillard reaction. I love putting all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to show you guys how you can butter base it.
I remember thinking that when the steak was wet, that was what caused it to sizzle. So it should have been wet. It was just one of those things you don't know until you know.
Really nice steaks. This one over here, I've got some fresh ground pepper I'll sprinkle over it.
Looks like a pork chop.
But that's probably all I'm going to do to it is salt and pepper, because a lot of times we are trying to keep things fairly simple. Depending on what sensitivities you may or may not have, you may not want things like herbs or garlic or, you know, any of these other kinds of things. And if you do like those things, it's really easy to incorporate and make a few subtle additions that blow through the roof on flavor. So this one over here, I'm not going to. But these here, I'm gonna show you guys how I do a really simple aromatic butter based, and you can customize it with whatever you like. So if there's an herb you do like, there's an herb you don't like, there's a spice you do like, spice you don't like, cool. When you use pepper is a really important element of this. If you put pepper on the steak and then you put it into a properly preheated skillet, you're going to burn that pepper. You get a much more subtle flavor by waiting until you start butter basting the steak and adding your pepper then. Makes a big difference. This one over here, since I didn't put any...
Katie likes pepper on her steak. That'll be good to know for her, because I know I usually put it on there ahead of time.
On it, we won't get the burnt flavor, but we're not going to get very much goodness out of it either.
Although I usually cook it in an air fryer.
I'm up here, not down here, up here. And especially with seasonings like pepper, that's really important. Okay. So that's actually got even more color on it than I really was trying to get. That's because I'm using a cast iron skillet. If you're using an aluminum skillet, you won't even get that. Does anybody else here make steaks that look like that? It's okay if you do. Please don't be embarrassed.
I do.
Yeah.
Present.
A lot of people make steaks like this. I've been served steaks like this when I go to people's houses for dinner. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not, it's gonna taste that bad.
There's a lot wrong with it.
It's just not particularly great. Uh-oh, look at the man himself.
Hi, Dr. Barry.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I don't care if we have meat juice.
So you're here for the good part now.
All right.
I do have to tell you really quickly too, does any of you guys know why I started a YouTube channel? First of all, I used to be about 400 pounds. Horrible metabolic issues. I had anxiety, I had depression. My dad sent me a video by a guy named Dr. Barry, and I learned about what keto and carnivore was. We started making a change in our lives. I've lost about 130 pounds. I've reversed anxiety, depression. My wife and I had the knowledge to say, no, I don't need medication. I need beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And I need sunlight and I need movement. Without Dr. Barry doing what he does, I don't think I would be here.
That's
and I was
awesome.
watching a live stream. And Dr. Barry said, if you want to thank me, the best thing you can do is tell your friends and tell your neighbors and tell your family and help me spread the word about keto and carnivore. I owed so much of what I was doing to the work that he was doing, and I took him really seriously. And so I started a YouTube channel. It's why I do what I do. I have my life back and I get to be the man that my wife loves because of the work he does.
Man, it's awesome, man. You took me seriously.
I did.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And how many people's lives have you impacted already? People you've never met are now on board with.
Golly, guys, that reminds me of a guy I met this weekend, Brian. Oh my goodness. This guy came up to me at the movie theater where we were showing the Healing Humanity movie. And he looked like a football player, man. He was a big dude, really built like a tank. And he's like trying to hold back tears and stuff. And he's telling me that my videos saved his life, man. And I'm like, wow. So when I hear somebody like that, it sounds, man. It's the thing I have to be reminded of that keeps me going too, because sometimes I don't get to see that side of it. And I love when I get a chance to get together with you people and you share with me some of your stories or just tell me that something I said changed your life in such a way. That's all the reward I need. The fact that I make a living doing something or a little bit of money on YouTube, I don't make a living doing it on YouTube, but it helps me provide for my family. So thank you for those of you who watch and those of you who contribute and patrons and people who buy stuff in the shop and all the people who have supported me in the past. I really appreciate you because not only do you help me to stay on my focus, but also you help me to help other people find out for the first time that they could do this. This is something that they can do. They can make this change in their life, and they can have the life that they only thought was always out of reach. I'm telling you, it means a lot, and I appreciate you guys for it.
Proper human diet and have no idea that you were paying it forward. They just liked you because you're cool and enjoyable and interesting.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
It's all the craziness that's in my brain now. So.
Absolutely.
So I have to say just a huge thank you for everything you do.
It's my pleasure and my honor, and this is exactly why I do what I do, because of the effect you're having on these people's lives. So, dude, you're doing it. You're rocking it.
All right, let's get a skillet preheated, and I'm gonna.
Same.
All right. So this is a steak that yes. This is a steak that has been done wrong. No preheating of the pan, did not season it ahead of time, did not dry the steak off, too low of a temperature, flipped it too many times, and now we're gonna do a steak the right way.
All right.
And I'm gonna let you tell me what you think back to back.
I love it. This looks like the steaks I cook at home. So
and that's all
I'll learn something.
These ribeyes have been dry brined, salted properly, set in a refrigerator, uncovered, 360-degree airflow for 24 hours. So the sodium has penetrated, relaxes those proteins, the myosin and the actin we were
talking about. Just a second ago, there was smoke pouring out of that. Look at that.
Low of a temperature.
That's what I see when I'm trying to do the cast iron. It looks like that, and then before long, my whole house is full of smoke. And then here a second later, there's no smoke. How'd that happen?
360-degree
Probably
airflow
took a break between
for
shooting.
24 hours. So the sodium has penetrated, relaxes those
Yeah, there's
proteins. The
none.
myosin and the actin we were talking about helps to unravel those protein bonds a little bit. That also means that when this cooks,
back.
it's not going to
Maybe they
push as
just
much
turned
of
it
the
back on
moisture
or
out.
something.
So we're going to get a juicier, tender, more flavored steak all the way through. And we're cooking in some dry aged beef fat that I made myself.
Nice.
And we were talking about those little crispy
Yeah, he must
bits
have
you can
turned it
do
off
from
or
cutting
turned it
that
back.
beef fat off the end. You can also, when you do that in the air fryer, take the liquid beef fat and pour it into a mason jar. That's
Still
how
a
you
good
do
bit
it.
of smoke.
And that's basically free food.
Absolutely.
That's basically free food.
You're
So
not renting the vent hood.
that's what I'm looking for. I was afraid that I was going to burn something, so I was flipping, checking. It is so tempting. I struggle with it too. We all wanted, oh, I wonder what it's doing. I wonder if it's okay. I wonder if it's overcooking, right? If you just take a deep breath and let the pan do what it's supposed to do and let that meat cook, it's going to render the fat, it's going to cook it perfectly, and it's going to create that crust. We're also going to season this one properly when the time comes. How do you feel about some cultured butter basting on your steak?
I'm for it.
All right. This last Saturday, I put out part of the dairy series, how to culture butter at home. Now, you can do this with really expensive dairy, or buy whatever the best quality cream is you can find. If you can't, do the best you can. But if you can find good quality cream, you can very simply culture it. It makes the flavor of the butter incredible. Now that is what the other side of the steak is supposed to look like. You guys will see that here in a second. Here's what I like to do with a steak like this. If you're gonna use something like black pepper, now's the time you start doing it, because when you've flipped the steak, this side up here is still hot. Still has beef fat on it, so it's gonna actually get the seasoning, but you're not gonna burn the pepper because it's not against the bottom of the skillet. And that's where it gets bitter on you, okay? So we'll do a little bit. I'm not gonna overdo it, but a little is nice. Medium rare?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You don't want to be flipping it and poking at it, but you can take the tongs and you can put some pressure down on top of it and get good contact with the skillet.
So for those of us that want to mess with the steak, we're allowed to pat the steak.
Yes, you can pat the steak from the top.
Just don't poke it.
Don't poke it.
Can you put a weight on it?
Specifically, there should be no lateral movement. Because if you're putting pressure down, all you're doing is making that contact with the base of the steak in the pan, gives you that really good crust. If you move it sideways, any of that crust that might still be partially attached to the pan that hasn't released yet, it gets pulled off. Pressure, great. Lifting, sliding, or flipping, not so good. This is one of those step it up to the next level things. You don't have to do this, but it's really nice. And if you watch someone like Gordon Ramsay cook a steak, this is what they're gonna do. You're gonna take a little bit of that butter and you get just the small amount of dairy solids that are left in there to caramelize. You get that nice nutty roasted flavor. I'm gonna use 1 garlic clove. If you're sensitive to garlic, leave it out. I've got a sprig of rosemary and a couple of sprigs of thyme, and it's just enough that it perfumes the butter. So I'm gonna crush with the back of my hand a garlic clove. I don't need to chop it. I don't need to make it small because then it can burn too quickly, but crushing it opens that up and it lets a few of those oils come out. The herbs will take care of themselves. The butter goes in with the steak once it's on the second side, and this could not be easier. Spoon, we're gonna add our garlic and the herbs into the butter. So the butter is going to start to fry the garlic and the herbs. We tilt the pan back towards us and you're just gonna spoon hot melted butter over top of your steak. There's nothing sexier than watching melted butter roll off steak, I'm telling you. So once I have done that to that side of the steak, it is thoroughly coated in melted butter. We can check the second side, which is just as beautiful as the first side.
Very nice.
Yes.
See, that's all the kind of stuff lion dieters get jealous of, because we can't do the butter and the thyme and the rosemary and the garlic and everything else that he added there, because our guts just can't handle it if we're having those type of issues, and that's why we chose to do lion diet. But you want to join in with everybody else. You want to be a part of what this guy is doing and making a fancy steak like this and having the aromatic butter or whatever he said. I'm fine without it now. It's like, it's okay. I'm okay without it. But yeah, I'd like to be able to do some of that experimentation stuff like that. And I have, but it doesn't work for me in the long run. I just got to stick with getting it hot and eating it, using salt. Now, I did like what he said about letting it sit in salt. I know that that's the case, and I'm often lazy about letting it sit in salt for a longer period of time, and I notice you don't get it quite as seasoned all the way through, but that flake salt works so good on top, it's hard to complain. It's so good.
a long time. So I can kind of poke at a steak and I can tell about how cooked it is. Ideally, I would suggest you go get yourself a meat probe thermometer. It's the easiest way to get a consistent result every single time. If you don't have one and you're in a pinch, if you hold your hand out and you poke right here between your thumb and first finger, this is like raw meat. If you touch to the tip of the first finger and thumb
That's
together,
what that other guy said, but he
like
said this
blue
side.
rare. If you go to the second finger, that's more rare pushing towards medium rare. If you come to the ring finger, that's more of a medium to medium well.
Oh, it works
and if
here.
you go to the pinky,
It works
that's more
here.
of a well done. And if you make a fist,
When I do it here, it doesn't do that.
I'm like
feels the
Emeril
same.
Lagasse. I don't like one-sided foods, so I'll pepper the other side just a
funny
little
that
bit. Or the temperature of the skillet.
That's the first time I'd ever seen that before, was when the old guy in the other video we just watched did it, and then he did the same thing, but he did it in the wrong place.
Like a medium high. You want to be hot enough that it's not going to lose all of the heat, but you want to make sure you're not so hot that it starts to burn on the outside before you get it to cook through. This is also a really thick steak. I don't know about you, I like my steaks thick.
Yep.
Because it's much easier to get crust on the outside and keep it juicy and tender on the inside. And that's what I'm really going for.
100%.
This one you'll notice is maybe cut a little bit thinner. Out of the three, when I cut them, I decided to use that one as the sacrificial lamb over here. This one, probably almost 1.5 inches thick. It shrinks a little bit as it cooks, as the fat renders out. That's about where I suggest you get your steaks cut. With ribeye, you get that nice fat that goes around the outside. This is not cooking the internal part of the steak anymore. I'm just browning and crisping up that fat that's on all sides. It's a really nice thing to have that browned, juicy fat on the outside. And if you're not gonna do the crispy fat bits that I was talking about, this is also really helpful on that hump of fat that sticks off the end of a rib. That's really, really nice to crisp that on the outside. So it's soft and rendered through, but then it's got that brown, crispy outer edge, which is really nice.
Now, Chris, for those of us who can't afford a 2-inch thick steak, you know those thin
all
little
that
truck
smoke
stop
and it's
steaks
not filling up the
with
kitchen.
newspaper through? Is there any hope for doing that?
There is.
Properly?
There is. So what you would do is you would put that in a freezer and you would have that partial. Now, does that not look better, guys? Look at that.
Hell yeah,
that
it
and
looks
look how
better.
tender it is. Like it's falling apart because of the sodium that's in it, right? So I think you can tell which one is which. Though. Yeah, so you can take the really cheap steaks
No, I can't
and
tell.
you can freeze them 30 to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So you dry brine it first. That's gonna help a lot. Then freeze for 30 to 45 minutes. Get that pan nice and hot. And instead of letting it sit on the counter for an hour like I did to come to room temperature,
Dr. Barry's like, shut up, let me have a bite.
in that skillet, and it keeps that center from overcooking so much. Now you're not gonna get as good of a crust, but you will get a whole lot better than this, which is what those usually look like. And you can also use this technique on burger patties. So if you're on a burger budget, there you go.
You ready? Because I'm ready.
I know you're ready.
I'll tell you guys, I've been all over the world and eaten steak in many different countries. I have had many a steak at a 4- and 5-star restaurant, not as good as that. Many steaks in restaurants with steak in the name, which you would think, you know, they would do a good job. No, this is the way. This is how it's done. You guys need to try this.
You wanna give the not so good one a shot and see if you can tell them what the difference is there too?
I'm not prejudiced. I'll try it. So it's still good, still meat, still steak, but this blows that away. And it took you how much extra time to go from a 4 out of 10 to a 9.9 out of 10 steak? So much extra time?
So I mean, we're talking 2 minutes to salt it yesterday, stick it in the refrigerator. I don't even think about it for 24 hours. 10 to 15 extra seconds to do the butter based. So I mean, you're talking 4 minutes difference.
That's worth 4 minutes, I promise.
I'm gonna cook up a steak, and I'm sure maybe Dr. Barry might have some wisdom he could share about some stuff while I do so.
So a lot of people who are diagnosed...
If you're doing this on a carnivore diet, you got to do that preparation the night before every day if you really want to have everything ready. So that's like, it's got to be a part of your routine because you eat meat that often. You know, most of the time people watch a video like this, they're thinking about that one tip for how they're going to make a steak that one time in the future that they're going to make one. Well, when you make a steak nearly every day, and in some cases every day, some days I go all burger. So, I mean, it just depends on when it's a feast or famine time. But when you're eating meat all the time, you've pretty much got to prepare ahead of time all the time. So I got to make sure I got something defrosted unless I want to cook it from frozen. It also depends on the time that I have. And then I found cooking them not from frozen actually is better in the Dreo Chef Maker. So there's all these things that I've learned along the way, but I still got to be prepared the day before. But getting them salted ahead of time has been something I've been lazy about. But I think I really need to add that to it. I got tons of salt. Why not? I can still put some flake salt on it at the end, and I may not have to use as much. And that flake salt's expensive. So if I can reduce the cost of what I'm spending on the flake salt by using some more regular Redmond salt like they did ahead of time, that's going to bring the flavor out better. And I knew about that, but it's just one of those things that I always forget to do.
Diabetes. They start cooking the recipes on the American Diabetes Association's website, and their diabetes doesn't get any better. In many cases, it actually gets worse.
Yep.
Me and a group of doctors who understand low carb and keto.
I've seen all of that when I was at the retirement home as an administrator. The things that the Diabetic Association would recommend were leading them into more diabetes. It was terrible.
Doesn't get any better. In many cases, it actually gets worse. Me and a group of doctors who understand low carb and keto and carnivore got together and formed the American Diabetes Society, which now has a website, and we have over 100 recipes on the website. The weird thing about these recipes is when you cook them and eat them regularly, they actually help your diabetes get better, and in many cases go completely away. It's just AmericanDiabetesSociety.org. It's a nonprofit. I'm founder and on the board. Nobody makes it.
Hey, if you're watching this right now and you've reversed diabetes because of something Dr. Barry has said to you or something I've said to you, you need to leave a comment below, whether it's in the live chat or at the comments after the video has been posted, because people need to know this is real. I meet people all the time that tell me, yes, I brought my A1C down from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've heard all these high numbers for people with A1C that have brought it back down below 5.7 and getting rid of their diabetes. And some people that are just entering pre-diabetes being able to bring it back down to 4. And it's a miracle for a lot of people. My father died from diabetic complications. This doesn't have to be something you die from. It's just a matter of changing what you're putting in your body, and in some cases, just how you're putting it in your body. If you're not soaking it in Dr. Pepper and sugar cane, this meat's going to be good for you. But if you're cooking it the way we're talking about here, you're going to get everything you need from your diet, everything you want to satisfy your appetite, to satisfy that hunger. Those urges and cravings and everything will go away when you stick with it long enough. And the only thing you got to avoid is other people bringing you around stuff that you don't need, that you impulse eat. But if you can avoid that, you see a change that is just life-changing for so many people, whether they had diabetes or not. I didn't have diabetes, but I was certainly afraid of it after I saw what my father went through in his last 2 years of life. So, hey, let people know so that they can see the comments that relate to this.
Money except our social media person who's just, that's her job, so she gets paid, but none of the board members take a salary or get any kind of perks at all. We're all doing this out of charity to help make the world a healthier place and to give people the correct information if they have prediabetes or type 1 or type 2 diabetes or LADA or MOD1. So the American Diabetes Society.org. If you can donate
that's
a buck
so
or
cool
$5
that he's
or
done
$10,
that.
we'd appreciate it. Feel free to share the website on your social media. I'm sure you've got a friend or two with diabetes who currently believes that the association is giving them good information, but when they find out about the society, they're going to say, oh, okay. So when I eat this way, I can actually use less medication and have a lower risk of having complications from the diabetes. AmericanDiabetesSociety.org. Let's eat.
It is nice to have one of those that we can share with our friends who are going to hear you say something about carnivore and totally dismiss it. They won't even go home and look it up because they think you're a kook. They think it's kooky to even think this is the solution. And yet you've seen people time and again that have said that they've been able to reverse cancer or reverse this or change their MS or eliminate the symptoms of gout. So many different issues that people have been able to reverse or change. I mean, the list just goes on and on, really. If you start searching through the channels, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about if you've never seen this before. But it's amazing what you can change. But people still want stuff like this. So AmericanDiabetesSociety.org is a good one to keep in your notes in your phone when you want to share something with somebody and they tell you they've got diabetes and they don't want to hear about your carnivore idea. At least send them somewhere that's going to be coming from the brain of somebody like Dr. Barry.
To do it. But if I can teach you to do this for your own family, so you can do this for yourself and you can do this for your family, and you can go, I love my family and we deserve not just good health, but good flavor along the way. That's how you do it. And that's not compromising on the ingredients of, well, I want something to taste good, but I just can't do steak and eggs. It's just driving me crazy. I'm just gonna go get a pizza. That sounds really good.
I could do steak and eggs every day, man. I can tell you, I love the eggs. I'm just staying away from them right now because I'm trying to give myself that reset, get my hormones reset.
Don't do that. Do that with your steak and make it incredible. And if you really need something other than steak, I have a whole bunch of recipes that are a lot less far off the reservation than going to Domino's. We've talked about that whole ancestrally appropriate thing, and we talk about tribes and how humans live and work together in a small community. If you cook for somebody, you are giving away resources that could be used for you to somebody else to show them you cared.
Yep.
And if you take a lot of extra time to make it the best it can be, that's an even higher level of not only am I sharing my resources, I want to share the best of what I have with you. And I think, if you look at like the biblical principle of,
I was just about to say,
eating together,
multiple examples in Scripture.
Yes.
When you bring people together you love, you don't feed them the truck stop steak.
That's right.
Right? You go all out with the fatty calf and the fatty lamb, and you just put on the dog, as we say here in Tennessee. And that's how you show that you care.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So I try to do that with every single meal that I make for every person that I cook for, because
very
it's
gracious
my job
attitude
to love people
to have.
and teach people about how to make great food and how to live keto and carnivore and love the lifestyle, and that's what I do.
That is what I've noticed about all of these different.
I did nail that steak today.
Yeah, that's a really good steak.
That's what I've noticed about all of these carnivore meetups that I've gone to, where I've met with people like Dr. Barry and Dr. Kiltz and a number of other people. They're extremely gracious. I have, before. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I want to go back to, let's see, recently watched or watch history. I want to see what that channel was, because you guys need to check him out. Chris Cooking Nashville. Chris Cooking Nashville. That's his YouTube page. Let's see if we can bring up the channel here so we can share it, because if he started doing this because of something Dr. Barry did, he's definitely going to have some good things to look at. So I am subscribing to him right now. He's got 700 videos. You want to talk about getting some recipe ideas? This guy looks like he's got some. Hopefully he's got more that are good for lion diet options, and I'm betting he does. If he doesn't, I'm going to reach out to him and see if we can't get something going. But that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. You guys got anything else you wanted to talk about? I see, oh, look at that. Keto Simple is here. Appreciate you coming in. Snarky Carnivore says she was able to reverse diabetes type 2, 18 months on carnivore. I played a big role in it, as well as Dr. Barry. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you letting us know. Maz is asking about, talking about, somebody else was talking about how we can't eat eggs. Who is this? Jeff Coleman from Kentucky. And carnivore over a year. How do you eat just meat and no eggs? I love eggs. I can understand that. Eggs are wonderful. They're delicious, and they make a great, especially if you're just using the yolk, even if it's raw, it makes a great sauce to go on the steak. It's delicious. But if you cook a steak right, it's a meal in itself. It really is. If it's got enough fat and it's nice and juicy and it's cooked properly, you got that exterior nice and brown, the interior is not done too much. To me, it doesn't really need to be any better than that. But anything else kind of is like trying to take a perfectly made race car and put a handwritten racing stripe on it or something. It's like, I'm not going to make this any better by doing that. It's just, I like it the way it is. He's got a cookbook coming out in October, according to Keto Simple. All right. Well, I'm glad we found out about Chris Cooking Nashville. I had no idea who he was until somebody had shared with me that information. Oh, and that's my reminder that I've got to end this, because I'm fixing to have a meeting of the roundtable at ferrignofreedom.com. If you're interested in joining us at the roundtable, it's a Zoom call that I do right now once a week on Wednesday evenings right after the live stream, where we can talk about our week, talk about our successes. I can give any tips. You can ask me questions directly, and we encourage each other to keep moving in the right direction, especially if you're living in a situation where you have people around you who don't do carnivore. It can make you feel like you're a little nuts, you're a little bit alone, and you need some encouragement. That's what it's there for. So you can head over to ferrignofreedom.com and check that out if you're interested. Also, everything I use to make food on the carnivore diet can be found there, including the things that I like to eat, whether it's the carnivore bar or other things that I've used like carnivore crisps. They're all there on the website, so you can check it out at ferrignofreedom.com. I appreciate you guys being here today. If there's no other questions before I go, I am going to head out so I can get ready for that, and I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?